Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Plot Thickens. This is a podcast brought to you by Kimisitu Investment Company PLC, where we explore the stories from real estate and land investment and demystifying that whole process for first-time buyers, for seasoned investors, also offering some advice, giving you information when it comes to that industry. And today I'm once again joined by my colleague.
My name is Chris Pasogoti. Welcome, viewers.
Yes, so today we're definitely going to be talking about the due diligence process, necessarily what makes a location, first of all, a prime spot, what can the value of infrastructure, how it affects plots, and necessarily how Kimisitu Investment vets their properties. So let's start with the first one, the due diligence process.
The due diligence process.
Yeah.
This is what gives an investor confidence to invest in a particular property.
Yeah.
So it's like an assurance that whatever you are going to invest in is authentic.
Okay.
So due diligence exercise is not a small exercise, it's a tedious exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Due diligence starts right from the point at where the property is being offered to the buyer,
Okay.
up to the end when the title is processed.
All right.
So the first thing, once maybe you've been a property has been offered to you, the first due diligence as a buyer is for you to go to site. Few actually, what is being described on that offer is what is at the ground as a buyer. So once, why due diligence you have to do as a buyer, you have to see whether what you're buying, there's some lands of some time back which you saw, they're being flooded with it rains.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, when you go to site is to confirm whether that particular land is operable.
Right.
Yeah, so that it's not affected by some artifacts or weather effects or climate changes. So lands which are the lands which are in the road reserves, which are being advertised in road reserve, you have to fight that.
Okay.
You have to fight that lands which are close to rivers. Remember, there should be some distance from the rivers.
To
You
land,
have to give an allowance. And also there are lands where maybe power lines are passing through. Remember, you are supposed to give 30 meters each side as a railway. So those are the things to look at, and many others. Then when you go to the site, it can let you proceed if you see maybe there were some structures and they was destroyed thereafter. You will have to understand why they were being where they were destroyed, who was the owner by then and all that. Then after you feel that what you have seen is good, you have to engage a service provider who will be able to do for you due diligence. I can call it further due diligence.
Further due diligence.
This is a surveyor. The surveyor is going to do the search.
Okay.
Official land search for that particular parcel to ascertain that actually that land is recorded in the lands registry. And to know that that land is registered in the seller's name. Then another due diligence which is being done by the surveyor is the green card history. The surveyor has to go through that process to understand that this land, since it was maybe exercised or since it was acquired, it has passed through this process, and the current owner is recorded as the one who is holding the title of that particular point in time.
Okay.
Yeah. Then another thing the surveyor is going to do is to confirm where the land lies. He takes coordinates then he's going to match those coordinates against the survey records at the Survey of Kenya or the survey offices to confirm actually the way the land is set aside conforms with the records of the Survey of Kenya. Then that one can, also the survey is going to confirm that that land is not in the Ndungu report. Remember those lands which were acquired illegally is not there. It will also build some other records to confirm that that actually land is not affected. He's going to confirm that that land has never been and is not a public utility. Does not lie on a road reserve, and many others. After that, it's advisable for one to get a report on the same for record purposes. Another due diligence is being done by the conveyancing lawyer. The lawyer you have said you have engaged so that he can be able to represent you legally in the transaction. This lawyer has to get to ascertain the true identity of the seller or the sellers in whatever case. He or she will be able to take care of the interests of the purchaser in that transaction so that he is not disadvantaged. Another thing the conveyancing lawyer is going to do is to approach the authorities to ascertain that actually the authorities know the person who is selling that land and they know him very well and there's no any issue regarding that land. As to family issues, there are family issues whereby the families are not willing to or they have not agreed to sell. Whether that land there has been disputes before with the neighbors and all that as to boundaries and all that. Also, the conveyancing lawyer is going to get an assurance. Usually what they require, they get a written confirmation from the area sub-chief or a chief or village elder that actually they know the owners and they are people of unquestionable integrity.
Okay.
So after that also, usually also lawyers give reports on the same, the due diligence reports. Another due diligence which has to be done, as I had said earlier, is using a reputable valuer, of course regulated by the relevant authorities, to give the parcel which the purchaser is interested in a true value to that land so that it can guide negotiations between the buyer and the seller so that the buyer can be able to engage the seller from a more informed position.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the due diligence which is being done. Then another due diligence usually people do once the sale agreement has been executed and let's say a 10% down payment or deposit has been made. For you to ascertain there is no any issue, what people usually do, they go to site, they erect a fence or a structure on the land to see whether there is somebody who is coming forward to claim that particular parcel. That's one of it saves people the risk of being exposed too much by paying too much money.
Okay.
So the practice is people pay 10% and they put up some structures in place so that if there's anything, even if you were to lose, you lose 10% of the price. Not whereby you are putting all the money and then you lose everything.
And then a problem is coming in.
So that's the due diligence which is being done. Another thing, due diligence is now when you are just about to complete paying for a particular parcel and you are remaining with something, the conveyancing lawyer or your legal representative requests for the completion documents from the seller. The completion documents include one, consent to transfer. Here, the buyer and the seller must have filled the application for consent to transfer. It has gone to the authorities and it has been approved. and we have now the consent to transfer. Duly executed title transfer forms. They have to be accompanied by the original copy of title. They have to be accompanied by KRA PIN of the seller or sellers. They have to be accompanied by identity documents. It can be the certificate of incorporation for a limited company or IDs of the signatories. Then recent colored passport size photos of that particular person.
Okay.
With that one, once you have them, you have now the comfort now to say, I can go ahead and transfer the last tranche. If there is an issue in between the signing of the agreement, the signing of the transfer forms, and the payment of the last tranche of the prize money, then it places up IPLOS. So some people are very keen in this, whereby at the onset, whereby the deposit has been paid and the buyers are in the process of paying the next payment, all those completion documents are supposed to be held in the party's interests by a lawyer. But it depends on a particular case.
Yeah.
So from there, that's part of the due diligence, you know. Due diligence goes all the way.
It feels like we've been talking about it for a bit, so this is a lot of steps, which now makes me think how, like for a first-time buyer, you might actually feel overwhelmed by all these processes.
It's a long process. It's a long process, and but it's good for an investor. You know, land is not that cheap. And it involves maybe committing a lot of funds into such a venture, and it's good for you to be extra careful so that you don't lose on your hard-earned money.
Okay, so I guess even now when we're talking about land with all the due diligence process, when it comes now to analyzing the land itself, because of course, there's a difference between like land inside like Nairobi and then its environs. Basically, urban and peri-urban lands or satellite lands.
What we call usually call the satellite towns.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you could sort of like explain to me and help me understand how when you're thinking of like buying land, how would you analyze location between like now the urban and the satellite towns, like you say?
Okay, quite interesting. We have urban, especially. Let me take an example of Nairobi.
Yes.
Nairobi is urban.
Yeah.
Nairobi city counties are urban. Is in an urban setting, and the satellite lands may be from the neighboring counties such as Kajiado, Machakos, Kiambu. Those are more of the urban. And when you are investing, you have to consider a number of factors before you invest in land. What has come out is that, especially in Nairobi, land prices are a bit high. Not a bit high, they're quite high.
They're high.
Are quite high. And most of these lands in Nairobi, they are leasehold lands. So it means you'll hold that land for a maximum of 99 years.
Okay. When you say you can own it for a maximum of 99 years, when that 98 or that 99th year comes, can whoever is living, can they renew it?
Yeah, you are given an option to renew.
Okay.
I think that you have seen even some cases whereby some people went ahead to acquire that land without giving the lessee an option to consider renewing. Then it's referred to the lessees.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was not acquired in a proper way. So with that one, also in Nairobi there are these lands attract quite a number of charges, especially land rates and land rent. You're supposed to pay it on a yearly basis. Yeah, you saw an example whereby one of the city county authorities went and locked, and they were saying that you are not going to operate these premises until you pay the rates
fees,
which have been
the rates,
which have accumulated up to millions of shillings. So you're supposed to be.
Are you usually notified when they start accumulating, or it's just an initiative that you have to take?
You're supposed to be notified
Okay.
because before they they should have taken necessary steps before you now they now reach that decision now to exercise distress. As compared to these satellite towns, there's some areas where you find people are not paying even rates.
Is it because they don't know, or the rates are not there?
They are not applicable in a particular region.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you find that most of these lands were agricultural land, and they are freehold in most cases. And the prevailing laws there do not require one to pay rates.
Okay.
So that one can make you not pay your loan. So comparatively, it means that you are incurring more in managing property in Nairobi than in peri-urban areas. So another thing to consider maybe, the closer you are to the urban area or to the city, the more expensive it is. The farther you are from the city or in the outskirts of the city, the land prices are reasonably affordable. So another thing maybe to consider whether to invest in the city or in the peri-urban areas is to look at the kind of units that you want to invest in. You remember there is this new development where we have sectional titles.
Yes.
You have an apartment. It's going maybe 10 floors up. You have 2, 3, 1 bedrooms, 2 apartment units. You can invest in that and get sectional title to that particular. So you own a section of that property. So depending on what you have, you can be able to invest in, if you have preference to invest in a sectional property, you can invest in Nairobi. But if you have money and you feel like that money you don't like, maybe you don't prefer living in an apartment, but you will prefer in an own compound setting, you can go to the peri-urban areas, you buy land, you build it, and you have your home there. So those are the intricacies which you have. But what you need to realize in the urban areas, infrastructure is far much developed as compared to the peri-urban areas.
Which also brings me to how, because land appreciates, almost it's been appreciating. The difference of how land appreciates in urban areas and peri-urban areas, she sheds more light on that.
In urban areas, there's a continuous flow of demand, because in urban areas there is an area for residential buildings, commercial building, industrial, and all that. So with that one, and there is a lot of people who will want to invest there because, like now, as you know, there's deficit in rental houses. So somebody who comes in to invest, if he has that money, will be prefer investing in Nairobi, do apartments, rent them out, or sell them for him to get what he wants. That's maybe to make profit or get capital gains.
So now, I guess my next question would be, we've seen how land appreciates a lot, especially when it's near certain infrastructure like roads, sort of like how land appreciated when Thika Road was operational, and even now even the expressway became operational. It's sort of like, what necessarily is the role of that infrastructure when it comes to the value of land?
Infrastructure in a given area is all about making life easy and convenient for you. So if you find a place where you are able to access very well, whether it rains or it doesn't rain, if there is a place with plenty supply of water, if there is maybe there are hospitals around there, good hospitals in that matter, if you have schools, those are the key factors to consider. If you look at what kind of developments are coming in that area, also it's a factor of the price appreciation. That's why you find in where there are most gated communities, the prices tend to be higher because there's a standard of structures. There are people who prefer standard of structures which are coming up.
Okay.
And also maybe the zoning. The zoning also gives a fact. I think some counties are doing it. Kajiado did it. Machakos is doing it. It gives you an indication on where the future lies.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been talking about what is not the due diligence process, what you should do, and everything. Like maybe if you could just give one example, what is one red flag that should be there, like should raise eyebrows for you when it comes to like land and buying? And yes,
One key red flag. I can say one, I can say two, I can say three, but the first one is where you find the vendor or the seller of a given property is really pushing for the buyer to pay him all the amount once.
okay,
Yeah, that's quite a red flag because there could be some, I'm not saying, you might find there's somebody who's genuine, but there could be some issues behind that transaction, which you might not be able to discern once you pay one off. If you pay off a time, you can be able to know there are issues here. Another thing where you find somebody trying to tell you that I have so many properties I'm selling, they are mine. That raises how investing in land sometimes is quite it's capital intensive.
Yeah.
So if you find somebody, maybe a young guy telling you that I have so many, it has like somebody who is young. I'm not saying young guys should be but when a young guy tells you I have all these several properties in prime area, you have to ask yourself a question. Why could it be that way? So another red flag is where you find the vendor is quite I can say quite aggressive in maybe negotiation terms, and is rigid. He doesn't want to negotiate, or he doesn't. He's not flexible to the terms he or she has provided. So those are some of the red flags you have to look at. Then another thing to a particular property, when let's say the records, maybe the Lands Registry and the Survey of Kenya have some inconsistencies, maybe the name in the title, on the ID, they don't match. The records at the registry, or if you look at the green card, there's so many cancellations and all that. Then also some records missing.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some cases where people have gone, you do a search today, it gives you a different name. You go do a search next week, it gives you a different name. Those are the red flags. Okay. So then also where you find that the acreage
of the land.
The acreage of the land at the ground differs from the acreage on the title. Whereas in most cases where in fixed boundaries, there should be
inconsistencies.
There should be inconsistent. Even in general boundaries, the deviation shouldn't be that significant. Okay. Yeah, those are the red flags which you have to raise. And if you see such, just dig further. Or you can, if you see you cannot be able to handle it, just drop. Look for the best, the next best available option for you to invest in.
Okay, this has been again very very informative. I did not know about some of those red flags. But thank you so much. Thank you also to our viewers who have stayed and watched until the end of the episode. Once again, these are episodes that will be coming out every Friday. We'll be having different people coming, very different industry professionals who are very conversant when it comes to land and property investment. Always remember to share, like, and subscribe, and continue tuning in. Thank you so much, Christmas, for joining us again. For this is like the second episode you're here, so thank you so much. And remember to always invest in Kimisitu Investment. Our slogan is your umbrella in fair weather. We have very different properties, and yes, see you next time.